Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Bitcoin, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what we would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash the like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing and tapping the bell, you will not miss another video update. Above and beyond those two things though, if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, you are missing a trick. Check it out, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and it is the first place that we go to notify you of everything that's going on in the crypto space. So why not keep a finger on the pulse of crypto by joining us down in Discord. Let's jump right down into this video. We are going to be taking a look at Bitcoin paired up with USDT on the 1 hour chart, and Binance is our data source. We have seen some volatility recently and a bit of a break to the downside over the last few hours and overnight. So let's just jump right down into this. We'll take a look at smart money concepts and Elliott Wave theory and kind of give you my thoughts and opinions on what's going on. So what we'll do is we're going to start things off actually with the Elliott Wave theory side of things today. I think this is a good place to start, considering we can see here that we're now kind of moving down quite nicely towards our C wave structure. So let's go ahead and talk about this in a little bit more detail. For this to kind of really make sense, I'm just going to zoom out just a fraction here because we do want to kind of just point out a few different things that are really important to the structure of what is going on with Bitcoin. Okay, so over here we have a 5-wave structured move to the downside. Okay, before that there was another 5-wave structured move, and then before that there was another 5-wave structured move. Okay, now within this we have to consider that the 5th wave movement here is higher than the 5th wave movement this side, and the 5th wave over this side is also higher than the one that was over here. This is important because a 5-wave structure like this, it tells me that we have a nesting 5-wave structures. They're basically being nested internally inside each other, because not only is it at the bottom where the 5th waves are higher than the previous 5th waves, the origin of wave 1 is also lower than the original origin wave 1 from the one that preceded it. So this is important because it means that those 5-wave moves are actually being nested inside each other, and it means that there's a bigger impulsion here than what many people were probably going to be looking at. So for example, we can see that there would be a wave 1, this being our wave 2, coming down here for a wave 3, up into our wave 4, and coming down into a final 5th wave movement. Okay, this final 5th wave movement appears to be in an ending diagonal structure. Okay, and we can see that we are targeting down here at 24,791 to 25,418. Okay, at the moment we have not yet completed the little wave 3 of the wave 5. Okay, so we're looking to come down, bounce up, then come down again. And because this is an ending diagonal, there's a few rules that are associated with it. We have to come down to a 1.618 in order for us to be able to do that. So we have to come down here to be able to do this. The other options are that it becomes an expanding diagonal. It'd have to be an expanding diagonal at this point. We can't see a contracting. So there's only really one or two options there within our 5th wave movement. Alternatively, the psychology or the herd mentality or the psychology of the people who are buying and selling decide to shift and change, and we break out of the structure. Okay, so those are really the options that you have here. So as you can kind of see, we have this 5-wave movement taking us down here. Because this is internally nested inside this one, this is also only a wave 3. So this is a wave 1 coming down here, our wave 2 coming up. All of that down there will be a wave 3. We'd bounce up and then come down, bounce up into wave 4, then come down into another wave 5. Okay, then all of that is nested as a wave 3 from this area here, which is a wave 1, wave 2. All of that would be a wave 3, up for 4, and then down to 5. Okay, so all of a sudden you start to see how we have this real big impulsion kind of starting to form and take us down deeper in terms of price action. Okay, so that's kind of the overview on where we are with Elliott Wave theory at the moment. Let's go ahead and just remove some of these and where we currently sit within our smaller structure. Our smaller structure is this diagonal right where we are right now, and we're still targeting out this low. As you can kind of see, I'm looking for a zigzag pattern in here. So this C wave is nowhere near complete yet. It's got to come down here into this final 3rd wave. But considering the structures that is emerging at the moment, this particular pattern here looks impulsive. Let's go ahead and check it. Okay, so we saw big red candle taking us down here. Okay, we can see here we also had this diagonal at the beginning. So at the moment, we're looking at this as a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, come up for 4, down to 5. okay? But that's a 5-wave move. Now, a diagonal structure like this cannot just have 5 waves. It has to be a 5-3-5. So we'll be looking at this as a zigzag pattern, okay? So first of all, we do our due diligence and we check where our current positioning is. Just pull this over to here. We can see that we hit the 1.618 with the wave 3. Okay, we'll remove that. And then, yeah, so basically we've got to come down. We've got to finish off that 5th wave move, and then we're going to bounce up. Okay, bouncing up like this and taking us a little bit higher. Now let's go ahead and just remove some of our white lines. They're just getting in the way now. We don't need that one. Okay, so in fact, I will remove this one as well because we've hit that 1.618. I'll leave that one down there. But yeah, so basically up here, we have wave 2's high. Okay, this is $27,500. And we have our B wave structure here coming up to $27,495.83. Okay, wave B should not cross the origin of wave A unless it is a flat correction, which I'm not expecting to see here. So for the most part, this here is actually perfectly fine. And we can see this ABC structure potentially coming up later. But this structure would not allow to be go higher than our 27,495.83. Okay, once done, and once complete, we expect a 5-wave move, taking us down into our target range. Okay, that there is an ABC structure inside our C wave structure, which will then complete out this move here. It's possible that we get some kind of overextension in this 5-wave move here, and it marries up with the first 5-wave move, but for now, I don't think that's likely. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm not expecting that to be the case. I would expect a bounce, then a move down, essentially taking us down into our 3rd wave low points, get that completed, and then we bounce for wave 4 down to wave 5, hitting our 1.618 on that bigger level structure, and our wave 3 out of our slightly larger wave 5 is complete. Okay, so from an Elliott wave theory point of view, yeah, everything's still on track. The psychology of people is very much still a move to the downside. It can be a little bit complex in places, such as the irregular flat right in here for wave 2. But for the most part, everything's playing out just as we were kind of kind of expecting it to and talking through in the previous videos here at Cheeky Crypto. So let's move over into smart money concepts. Smart money concepts is another way of just taking a look and checking the market structure. Okay, so on this hourly chart, we've got a few things that are actually counter to what is being spoken about in terms of Elliott wave theory. They're not quite perfectly aligned. So let's go ahead and take a look, right? We had the change of character from bearish to bullish on the 1-hour chart. That got triggered on the 23rd of May. Okay, so that happened yesterday. We can see that right here about 4 a.m. UTC plus 1 or BST. We can see that essentially we pushed up, we broke our bearish structure, and we've got a change of character to turn it into a bullish state of play. However, we've retraced quite heavily now, and we're moving down. If we were to lose this low down here, our change of character will also flip and turn back into a bearish state of play. So as we can kind of see, prices pushing down into that final 5th wave movement. It might actually be that that's still the 3rd wave still going, and we haven't quite had the 4th wave yet. So it'll be interesting to see what plays out there. But for the most part, as you can kind of see, if we come and break down this low, which if I just remove those and get a line on here, it's 26,538. Okay, we break that, we're probably going to end up moving into a bearish state of play once again. We also can see here that there's a strong low, and at the moment I'm not so sure that's going to hold as a strong low, but we'll see how that plays out. And what we mean by strong low, it means it's good support range, whereas we have a weak high up here. Again, this is really just driven from that idea that we're in a bullish state of play. Whereas I don't actually think that that is what is going on. So we want to be a little bit cautious here because we completely lost the 50 and 200 EMA and equilibrium here. Completely lost them. The other thing that's worth noting is that this Lux Algo's smart money concepts indicator here, it hasn't actually tagged up this fair value gap. Let me grab hold of this, right? So we can see that there's actually a gap, and I'll just draw it right here. Right there. So at some point, we're probably going to have to tap back into this equilibrium range. And it's probably going to have to be the kind of B wave structure that starts to form out. Now, it's possible that that's the fifth wave move and we just come up here right away, or it's possible that actually we have to have a fourth wave, then a fifth wave, and so forth. But ultimately, at some point, we're going to have to move up into this range and go past it slightly. So we're talking about going slightly higher than $27,111. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I don't know why 𝗲𝗚𝗚𝗀 hasn't picked up on that as a fair value gap. Probably maybe it's got something to do with the volume side. Is there huge volume? There's a reasonable amount of volume, so it really should have done that. So I'm not sure why 𝗲𝗚𝗚𝗀 doesn't always pick up on them, but there's one right there anyway, nonetheless. So as I was saying, right, we can see that we have a weak low, strong low, weak high. And I think they are basically actually the wrong way around, personally. I think that although this indicator is telling us that we have a weak high that we're likely to kind of go and push up higher than, I don't think that that's really what's going on. We can see the change of character from bullish, I think, is ultimate into bullish state is kind of what's confusing this indicator here. I think ultimately, though, although we pushed up higher than maybe we would expect normally, it hasn't broken this high structure here, and so this should, in my opinion, be a strong high, not a weak high. But we'll see in due course how that kind of plays out. But for now, that's kind of what 𝗲𝗚𝗚𝗀's smart money concepts is telling us here. Ultimately, I'm still looking for a breakdown deeper than 26,361. Sorry, and yeah, for now, we want to be kind of thinking, yeah, there's probably a move to the downside to be had. That's where my mind is at the moment here for BTC. As you can kind of see from our weekly standpoint, we are looking to kind of maybe test on the 50 EMA again on the weekly, and maybe if we do lose that, then we're going to be looking at testing the 200 as well. But ultimately, everything on our hourly chart from an Elliott wave theory point of view tells us that we still have some more room to the downside to go for. And if we do take a look at it from a smart money concepts point of view, it actually tells us that we're probably going to be moving up. So we're getting a little bit of conflict of interest on this one. Personally, I think it's more bearish than bullish right now, so I'm going to lean more on the bearish side of things with a slightly deeper in price action. But I am expecting a bounce upwards, but I am not expecting us to move up higher than our local highs at the moment. I'm going to leave the video right there though, guys. If you have found this useful and informative, hit that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new, then why not subscribe? You can always unsubscribe later if you chose to do so. And I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
We are not financial advisors. None of what we have communicated verbally or in writing here should be considered as financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before investing in any digital asset or affiliate offers, and understand that investing in any crypto is risky. If you do, you need to be prepared to lose your entire investment. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. All our videos are strictly personal opinions. Please make sure you do your own research and never take our opinions for financial guidance. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. Our videos are not financial advice.